Welcome to the fourth lecture of RF and millimeter wave IC design. Now, in today's class, we will we'll continue our discussion on the effects of nonlinearity, specifically on harmonics. In the previous class, we understood what is a harmonic and how we can mathematically understand, and we made some observations about the harmonic components as well as the magnitude of harmonics. And the performance metric what we use is called as harmonic distortion, but we also discussed that mm, before like the nonlinearity out of harmonics should be always studied in the case of a RF system, and in for narrowband systems harmonics are definitely an irrelevant indicator. So in continuation with that, let us solve one simple example of a analog multiplier, and we'll try to understand how harmonics affects, or what are the harmonic products coming at the output of such an analog multiplier. So this is an example. You can note down this question: an analog multiplier mixes its two inputs ideally producing. Analog multiplier is nothing but a mixer. So it mixes two inputs, producing an output. An output is given by this expression: y of t is equal to k into x1 of t, which is the first input, and x2 of t is the second input. Also given that x1 of t and x2 of t both are cosine signals of amplitude a1 and a2 at frequencies omega 1 and omega 2. Now the question is the question is having two parts. The first part is, say if your mixer is ideal, as we discussed in the beginning of class and the first class, talking about ideal and non-ideal. So if mixer is ideal, I mean to say that if the system is linear, determine the output frequency components. That is the first part. Now the second part is, if there are two ports to this mixer, so the second part of the question is, if one input port, that is a port which is sensing the signal x2 of t, is suffering from non-linearity of order 3, suffers from third order non-linearity, determine the output frequency components. Determine the output frequency components. I hope the question is clear. There are two parts to this question. First is assuming that the mixer is ideal. When I say ideal, the system can be assumed as um, linear. And the second case is the system can be assumed as, not assumed, system should be considered as non-linear. All right, so you guys understood the question, or you can consider that mixer to be something like this. There are two ports, and this is the output port. This is x1 of t, this is x2 of t, and this is y of t. So what we have to do is very simple. In the first case, assume only this, consider that the mixer is linear and write the output frequency components. In second case, to this port, So this port is having some nonlinearity. Consider that consider the third order nonlinear term and write the output frequency components. Very good, Vinod. Yes, in the first case, in the ideal case, you will have frequency components at omega 1 plus omega 2 and omega 1 minus omega 2. That is true. So let me answer for that first. So in the first case, y of t can be written as k into x1 of t into x2 of t. So k into a1 cos omega 1t into a2 cos omega 2t. That will result in k into a1 a2 by 2 cos omega 1 plus omega 2 into t plus cos omega 1 minus omega 2 into t. This is your output y of t. All right, so this is the first case. Now the second case you can consider that y of t is equal to k into, and those who are solving by yourself, please continue that. I'm just helping others who could not solve this. The first I will leave as it is because x1 of t or the port which is sensing x1 of t, there is no issue. So I'll write it as a1 cos omega 1 t. But now the second port x2 of t, since we have to consider the nonlinear term there, it is specifically mentioned that you should consider the third order nonlinearity. What I will do here is, along with a2 cos omega 2t, I have to consider the third order nonlinear term. So if I go back and look at the third order nonlinear term, I'll get to know that it is alpha 3, where it is, cubic term. It is in blue, yeah. Alpha 3 a cube cos omega, yeah, that should be the term. So I can write it as alpha 3 a2 cube by 4 cos 3 omega 2t. I hope you understood this. This is your fundamental, the regular input. Along with that, because of nonlinearity, I'm adding the third order nonlinear term. All right, now you have to process this. So let me know, all right, Lalit, I didn't get alpha 3 a1 q by 4. Yes, yeah. Lalit, I didn't get your question, but here isn't the function different from the example you solved for? Can you clarify that, Lalit? I have taken the third order nonlinear term. Even in the previous case, you have a cosine wave. The function is multiplied here, while in the first example, it was added. I didn't understand that. You are talking about this term. If you can unmute, that is better, Lalit.
So, like in the example which you solved before, you classified the frequencies, right? Yeah, here we added both the frequency components, like x of t was a1 cos omega 1t plus a2 cos omega 2t, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but here now we are giving the input function as something else. It's
okay.
k
Yeah.
into,
So what you can do is you write a cos omega t and take the whole cube. Right. So third order nonlinearity means I am actually looking at this term. So what is my x of t now? X of t is a2 cos omega 2t. So that should be cubed, and the nonlinear term coming out of that I am just considering.
Okay,
That
sir.
is what I
Understood.
have written here. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so why I have added that here is along that nonlinear term I added here. I think if you have doubt, please check me, others, even others also. So this has to, now you have to perform operation on this, and you should let me know the products coming, the sum and different frequencies coming out of this.
So won't
Sir,
we get
sorry to
more
interrupt.
detail?
I have a
Yes,
doubt.
Samir. Yes.
Navashi, are you going or should I go?
I'll ask, sir. One more term is there, no, sir? If it's cos cube theta, we'll be having cos 3 omega and cos omega 2 components, no, sir?
Cos 3 omega and
Cos omega 2 plus 3 by 4 cos omega 2t, sir.
which term you are talking about?
So third
Three.
order of x2t will be a2 cos cube omega t. Cos
Yes.
cube, that will be having cos 3 omega and omega 2 components, no, sir?
Oh, you're talking about the I didn't get that. So I think I have added that here, right? Can you tell me which term you are referring to?
So 3 by 4.
Yes, three. So see, in this example, there are two input signals, right?
Yes, sir.
A1 cos omega 1t and A2 cos omega 2t. That is why you
Yes.
have these two components here. But now, in this case, I am considering it as separate because x2 or this port is having non-linearity, so you will be directly having a cube term there.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
So the multiplication factor 3 by 4, won't we consider that?
Where is the 3 by 4 multiplication term? Did I miss something here? I didn't get that.
So a2 3 by 4 cos omega 2t.
A2 3 by 4 cos omega 2t.
A2
No, this
cube
is,
only.
A2 cube is here, yes. A2 cube alpha 3 by 4 cos 3 omega 2t. Which other term is
So she's referring to the two terms which we get when we split cos cos cube omega
Yes,
2t.
sir.
oh, okay.
So over here, can you see the first purple colored blocks? 3 by 4 alpha 3 a1 cube cos omega 1t plus. I think she's referring to this.
Yes, sir. That component 3 by 4 alpha cube a cube.
Oh,
Alpha
you are
3.
referring to this component, this one?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then you're asking me where is this second term?
Yes, sir. That
Oh,
term we didn't consider that.
no, what I'm telling is the second term will not be there now. Why it is not there is because, see, in this case, the signal itself is sum of two, right? I have considered a two-tone test here. The sum of the two signals is coming as x of t,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? So omega 2 term is not here in this case, or I'm considering non-linearity only to this port. So only
Yes, sir.
omega 2 is having that term. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Still others have confusion. Yeah, I
Sir,
think.
I
Yeah.
have something to clarify.
Yes, Kashish.
Sir,
Yeah.
when you've taken like the previous example, the input
Mm.
signal was the summation of two signals, right?
Yes.
A1
Yes.
cos omega 1t and A2 cos omega 2t.
Yes.
So when we put x of t as the summation of 2, we got this term, the
Yes.
one that you've written here.
Mm.
But now only port 2, that is x2 of t, is getting a third order non-linearity.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we should not use the same term as we used to derive the first equation, because there we had summation of both the terms.
Yes.
Here
Yes.
only x2 of t should come. So
Yes.
for the third order non-linearity, we should only write a2 cube cos omega 2 whole cube, like the whole cube of x2 of t.
Yes. Yes.
But here,
right.
but you've written alpha 3 a2 cube by 4 cos 3 omega 2 t, but that came because we had summation of the two input terms. Here we do not have the summation.
All right, all right. So when I consider nonlinearity here in one port, what I should do is I have alpha x of t, sorry, alpha 1 x of t and alpha 3 x cube of t. This is what I have considered just now, not y of t basically. Now for this port, I have taken alpha 1 into x of t plus alpha 3 into x cube t. That is what I have taken. Is it clear?
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, so you've taken this also as a summation of two signals where one is
No. I have taken it as it not a summation of two signals. I have taken x of t as a2 cos omega 2t in this example. In case of alpha 1, what I have here is, yeah, maybe you can consider it as some k or something. Still, it is not clear.
Sir, we'll get one more term now, sir, like cos cube. Like if we take in terms of cos 3 theta, it's 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cos theta. So,
All right, yeah, you will get, yeah, definitely, yes, yeah, that I missed. One more frequency component in terms of omega 2 you will get, right?
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I try to tell.
Oh, sorry, Lalit. Sorry, I did not. Yeah, definitely one more term you can write it over there. Yeah. So the whole intention here is if I take that additional term, no, then you have to do little more mathematics here. You have to actually take the product. Maybe it will be one more additional step you may need to do in order to get the final frequency components. The whole intention of doing this example is to understand that if the system is linear, the products are straight away, you will get the sum and difference, because that is what we expect from a mixer. So whenever I say a mixer, what I'm expecting is if I'm giving two frequencies, I should get sum and difference products, difference terms. That is what I got directly in the first example. You can see that omega 1 plus omega 2 and omega 1 minus omega 2. So if the mixer is an up conversion mixer, we will look for the product omega 1 plus omega 2. If it is down conversion, we will look for the product omega 1 minus omega 2. But now, so that will happen only in the case of an ideal or in a linear system. But as we have discussed about non-linearity, and since I want to share you guys that harmonic terms, yeah, so I'm basically looking at the harmonic term itself. If you look at the other term, you have intermodulation. Probably that is what Vinod also has written in the chat box. Okay, so I have completely neglected the other terms. I am specifically looking only at the harmonic terms. Probably now I made it clear. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm just looking only at the directly at the harmonics, but this will definitely result in some other term. So if I write it if I continue this operation here, so this is not very strict. What I'm telling is when you solve this, it is not that very strictly you should use only this term. For simplicity, I have actually considered only this term. All right. If you take the additional term, then you may have to just take the product and get additional. That is okay. That is perfectly fine. So let me write this as k a1 a2 cos omega 1 plus omega 2 into t. This I am just considering the product of the, say maybe this I am considering as a, sorry, this as a and this as b, and I am writing the first term by 2 plus one more I will get k a1 a2 by 2 cos omega 1 minus omega 2 into t, plus now you have the second term, which is approximately k alpha 3 a1 a2 cube by 8, it will come, right? 8 into cos omega 1 plus 3 omega 2 into t plus cos omega 1 minus 3 omega 2 into t. Definitely you can consider even the other term, and that will result in one more frequency term, is what I understand from the discussion what we made just now. All right, so the takeaway or the simple points or the takeaway from this example is just that an ideal system or an ideal circuit will produce the products. Since it is a mixer circuit, we are expecting only just sum and difference. But if it is non-ideal, or if any of the port if it suffers from some level of non-linearity, you will get a related output frequency components. Now the task, you have more task here, because since you have more additional terms, you may have to filter out that properly, and you may have to look for the proper frequency component what you are expecting at the output. All right, that is that is what we can understand or infer from this very simple example. So what we will do, I hope it is clear. If you still have doubts, please ping in the chat box, and I'll take up the questions at the end of the session. All right, now in another 5 minutes, I'll show you how we can see the harmonics of a nonlinear system in Cadence. Before that, I'm just again explaining, or I'm just brushing up you. We have already discussed, or you already know something about this nonlinearity from our previous analog classes. So when I say system is linear, when a system is linear, say for example, if I am applying a sine wave, if I'm applying a pure tone to input of a linear system, say it is somewhere around the frequency of fc. At the output of this linear system, if the system is an amplifier, still if it is a linear amplifier, I'll get a magnified output, but still the frequency remains same, right? Or if I look at the spectrum of this at the input, we know that the spectrum, yeah, I'm considering it as a pure cosine signal, so fc and minus fc, and I do believe that you understand what a negative frequency means. So this is the input. Even since the system is linear, even at the output you will see only components at fc. At the output you will see only components at fc, because the system is linear. That is what we just saw in the case of an ideal mixer. Now if your system is non-linear, your system is non-linear, say I am just marking that non-linear system as something like this. So if you provide a signal at the input, system is non-linear, so what happens, your output can get distorted. So that depends on the system, that depends on several factors, but I'll just mark here as output signal can definitely get distorted if the system is non-linear. So we need to take extreme care in applying the input signal to such a system. If your input signal is large enough, then definitely your output can get distorted. Now in such a case, even though your input is a pure tone with frequency components at say fc and minus fc, since your output is distorted, or since your output is not a pure cosine wave, you can expect a lot of frequency components at the output. So as from our previous discussion, I can say that if I write the spectrum, you will definitely have the frequency component at fc. Apart from that, you will have frequency component at 2fc, you may have a 3fc, and so on. And even apart from harmonics, you will get other components also. So always this non-linearity will definitely can result in the waveform distortion, and that can give you additional frequency terms or additional terms at the output of any system. Now again, referring back to a simple common source amplifier, what you are familiar, if you provide an input V in here, we will get an output V out, and say for example RD is your load resistance. Now if you look at the characteristics, the transfer chara of this amplifier, if you look at the chara of this amplifier, V in versus V out, I hope you guys will definitely remember this. Initially when your V in is 0, your transistor is off, your output is tied to VDD, that is this maximum. But as your input increases, your transistor will turn on, and as a result your current will flow and your output will drop from VDD, right? So your output will and that means initially your transistor was in cutoff, and now the transistor enters into saturation, and after a particular voltage of V in, the transistor can even enter into linear region, right? So this is what you have seen as the transfer chara of common source amplifier, where this is the portion where the transistor is in saturation region. And you can clearly see that this portion of the graph, this portion of the transfer curve is linear to some extent. And what we do here is, sorry. So what we do here is, if I am fixing the Q point, say I'm fixing the Q point at the middle of this, if I'm fixing the Q point at the middle of this transfer curve, and if I'm applying a signal, maybe if I'm applying a signal, what happens? I'll get an output here. So the output will be an amplified output. So this is my output DC level, and your output will be amplified, something like this, right? Now, so when you have given a small signal, because you know that all these devices are non-linear, but we are working on small linear segments of this non-linear device. Now, when your input signal is within that linear segment, you are also getting a proper output, the faithful amplification, and your waveform shape is preserved. Now, say if you are giving a larger input here, what happens for this larger input? When you look at the output, what happens for the output here is, your output can get distorted because this is your output DC level, but till this point only the segment is linear, or the transfer curve is linear. So your output can definitely get clipped off after this, and this is actually as a result of non-linearity, or non-linearity is leading to output distortion, and this will definitely result in a lot of frequency components at the output. This is something what you already know, and this is what the distortion in CS amplifier. Now, if you recollect the transfer curve of a differential amplifier also, you can see that you will see a linear segment in the graph, but at the same time, if your input signal is going large, then even the differential amplifier can give you even the output of differential amplifier can get distorted, right? So this non-linearity and the effects of non-linearity are seen everywhere, but since you're in your analog circuits, as we are dealing or working with only smaller input signals, or we will not consider this much. Moreover, we are not actually transmitting, or we are not directly using the spectrum, right? But when we talk about RF circuits, we are directly an RF transceiver or any RF block, we are actually transmitting a signal or receiving a signal, or then we need to be much more concerned or careful about all this unwanted, additional frequency terms. I hope I made it clear. If you have doubts, definitely I'll take it. But for now, I will switch to Cadence, and I'll show the simulation part there. Whether my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now, so what you're seeing on the screen is an amplifier. It is a low noise amplifier, but don't worry about the circuit. Don't worry about the components. So the whole idea, or why I'm showing the simulation right now, is to show the harmonics which is coming at the output of an amplifier, and what happens if you increase the input amplitude, or what happens to the harmonics amplitude. That those two are the objectives of showing this small simulation example. So what you can think for now is, consider this as a black box. You do not know what is inside, or you should not worry about what is, or how did I design, what are the specifications I have taken. Nothing. You should not worry about anything. You can see that the things inside this yellow box is a black is nothing known to you. You know that this is a non-linear system. That is the only thing you should think about the circuit now. Now on the input side, you can see one component. The component is called as port, and the output side you can see another component. That component is called as, again, it is port 1. The numbers are port 0 and port 1. All right. And now what you see here is your supply voltage. All right. So what we will do now is, yeah. So what we will do now is, sorry, Edwin. Yeah, so I have already launched the ADL window. Yeah, the window is here. Okay, let me just tell you what a port is. Okay, it is taking some time. Let me see whether I can launch ADL. Yes. Yeah, so port are components where I can define the frequency of the input, define the amplitude of the input. Moreover, I can also, yes, now I can show it. Yeah, you can see the port. So I have kept the resistance of the port as 50 ohm, no reactance. The port number I made it, given it as 1, and the source type is sine, giving a sine wave. I'm naming the frequency as FRF1, and even the frequency value also I'm giving as FRF1 only, because the value will be given later in the ADL window, and the amplitude is given as PRF, and this is the standard way of the standard notation what we generally use for simulations. All right, so you can see that I'm not giving the peak value, rather I'm just giving the dBm, the amplitude in dBm, and I'm calling it as PRF. Okay, so now I'm just saving this, and already I have launched ADL window here. Hope you can see, and I have given the frequency here, because what I have designed is an LNA at 2.4 gigahertz. So I have entered the frequency, and I am just giving the amplitude value as minus 20 dBm. That is the input amplitude. Now on the analysis part, you can see there are 3 analysis enabled: DC, something called as HB, and the third one is called as PSS. For the time being, for now, I'll be telling what we are going to do with with the HB analysis. HB analysis is nothing but harmonic balance analysis, where this analysis will help you to understand or see the harmonic components at the output of a circuit. So if you double click on the harmonic balance analysis, because I have already set up this analysis, as I mentioned before, you can perform a 2-tone test or multiple input tones you can give. Currently, I'm giving only 1 tone, and the tone with the fundamental frequency is 2.4. With the number of harmonics, what I want to observe is given as 10 here. You can just leave this oversample factor as 1. No, nothing else here. I have just given the accuracy default settings, and I have saved it. But for a harmonic balance analysis to run, you should enable another analysis called as PSS. But again, don't worry about these analysis. You will learn more when you when you start doing these kind of examples. All right. So I have, okay, let me just click on the run sim. Are you guys with me? Can I get some response in the chat box? All right. Okay. Uh, Fine. I think, yeah, I have simulation is done. Okay. Sorry, it is taking some time. Yeah, that's done. Can you guys see the screen? It's taking time to. No, I think Lalit. I think there is no error. Yeah, it is getting loaded. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, it is successful only. So let me just go and see the results here in the direct plot. Going to the HB, I'll just replace. Yeah, so what I'll do here is I'll take the power and I'll select the port. So if I click the port, I should get the output components here in dBm. All right, so I'm just clicking it here. That I'm getting the frequency components. I hope you can see the frequency components at the output. So what you can see here is your fundamental term, which is at 2.4 gigahertz, which is having an amplitude very close to minus 4.6 dBm or minus 2.5 dBm. You have seen that I have given an input amplitude of around minus 20 dBm, I guess. So there is definitely some gain. And then this is your 4.8 is your second harmonic. Then 7 point, yeah. So this is a third harmonic, and you can see many number of harmonics. So since I have selected up to 10 harmonics, you can see all the 10 harmonics along with your fundamental component here. I hope this is clear. Now, as we know, if I increase the input, amplitude, the harmonic component also will have a corresponding amplitude. Corresponding amplitude in the sense there will be definitely the strength of the components will be more. So to show that before that, can you guys see the components, the harmonic components? So what we have done is I have a nonlinear system in the background. I have given an input signal at 2.4 gigahertz, but at the output we can see along with the fundamental there are other components appearing here. This is what we discussed. Right now in the ADL window, I have just given this as minus 20 dBm. I'm just editing this to say minus 5 dBm, and I'm just running the simulation again. It may take some time. Yeah, in another 5 minutes, if possible, I'll show that. Otherwise, I'll keep the screenshots to the notes. Yeah, that is done. Now I'm adding, I'm appending to the present result. Again, the harmonic balance, I'm just appending the result, power in dBm, and I'm clicking the port. Now I have two components. I'll just split the components. Sorry. Yeah. I'm not able to select this, but still see, this is a second harmonic. You can see that the power of this is minus 35 dBm, but here when I have increased my input signal amplitude to say minus 5, the power of this is somewhere close to minus 4 dBm, right? So as we discussed before, the amplitude of the nth harmonic is actually yeah, the observations what we made before. I'm not able to select this and sorry, I'm not able to select this and make it bold for so that you guys can see it. All right, so yeah, so the takeaway from here is when you apply input signal to a nonlinear system, you should be careful in the magnitude of the signal what you are applying to the system, because the components appearing, because the distortion of output can happen if you are not applying the input signal within the limits, right? So at this point, we have to understand another important performance metric that we call it as 1 dB compression point, which will be dealt in your next class. So in today's class, I'm just winding up with the simulation of harmonics. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we will wind up